Welcome back. My name is Sanjana and I'll be talking about Brain Facts Chapter 7 in this video. So the title of Brain Facts Chapter 7 is Infant, Child, and Adolescent Brain. And first we'll be talking about the infant brain. So early life. The average brain weight of a newborn baby is about 370 grams or 13 ounces. So in comparison, the average adult weight is about 3 pounds and it contains approximately 86 billion neurons. And by the time the baby is 90 days old, its overall brain volume has increased by 64% than it was at birth. And like a fact about that is like the cerebellum actually increased like doubles its size from like birth to 90 days. And so during the first 3 months of life, the number of neurons in the cortex also grows and increases by 23 to 30% by synaptogenesis. And a newborn's brain represents like the result of 40 weeks of development in the womb, and it's like a rapidly grows and that continues after its birth as well. So let's talk about this image over here. So this is like an image of synaptic pruning, and you can see the difference between 36 weeks of gestation to even like 6 months. So after 6 months, it rapidly increases. And in this image, you can see that the connections in the brain are rapidly increasing in number. And it's like really clear in the 3 months to 6 months image. But after 2 years, synaptic genesis like happens, and that means the brain gets rid of all like the weaker connections and it only keeps the stronger connections to benefit the person. This is clearly seen between 2 years and 4 years old. So with the label of the image, it's labeled from 36 weeks of gestation to 2 years, a synapse formation, and 4 years to 6 years of synaptic pruning. And this just shows how the brain gets rid of all like the weaker connections and only keeps the stronger ones. Next, we can talk about adolescence. So adolescence is called like a critical period because like an adolescent has a very high capacity to learn in that time. And more synaptic pruning happens where like the stronger connections beat out the weaker ones. And I mentioned this on the previous slide with the image and like how you could see like how the brain gets rid of all of the weaker connections. But it is also called competitive elimination because like the brain gets rid of like the weaker ones and keeps the stronger ones. And enhanced connections and changes in the nerve and the brain's reward system also happens in adolescence. And a positive for that is like an advanced learning ability where like a teen has like a higher capacity to learn in this time, but a negative is increased sensation seeking and potential addiction. So this is going to be a double-edged sword because it increases the risk of drug addiction in teenagers, which can have many negative effects on the brain, both long-term and short-term. So drugs interfere with the connections in the brain overall, and it damages them, and it damages like important brain regions for cognitive functions such as memory, attention, and executive functioning. This slide just goes over a picture. So this image shows how the area develops during this time with the blue color or purple color indicating areas that are more mature. So you can see from like 5 years old to like the age of 20, you can see how there's a lot more blue and purple in the image for 20 years old, but there's like very little in the 5 years old, but it gradually increases over time. Finally, let's take a look at adulthood. So, the definition of the word adult would be different in context of a social aspect compared to that of the educational aspect. And the general population accepts the definition that people older than 18 are considered adults, but brain development completes in the 20 somethings, so like the later 20s, and that includes changes where myelination occurs. And closer to 30 years old, the frontal and parietal neocortex become more myelinated, and that helps working memory and higher cognitive functions in this age. So, what we widely accept as an adult as 18, the brain development actually happens in your late 20s. So that concludes chapter 7. Please join me for my next chapter of chapter 8, which would be the adult and aging brain. Thank you and see you next time.